Hello and welcome back to my channel. On today's video, we're going to talk about all of the fragrances that won awards in 2024. So it's the start of a new year, 2025, and obviously this year the winners will be very different, but we're going to go through all of the fragrances that won awards from the Fragrance Foundation, which they are the ones that do this really big event and give out these really great prizes for all of these brands. Now, before we get into that, I do want to say a quick disclaimer. Now, the Fragrance Foundation, yes, is known for giving out great awards, but at the same time, they're typically sponsored by big corporate sponsors like LVMH or L'Oreal, so take this with a grain of salt. It's just fun. We're gonna go through the nominees and the winners for each category. So the first category is Fragrance of the Year in the Women's Luxury category, and the nominees for this are kind of interesting. We have Coco Mademoiselle L'Eau Privée, which is a newer flanker by Chanel. We also have Christian Dior's J'adore Infinissime, followed by Gucci Bloom Profumo di Fiori, and finally, Tom Ford's Black Orchids Parfum. And Valentino's Born in Roma Donna Eau de Parfum Intense. What a long name. The winner for this is Valentino, and the Born in Roma collection is really nice. I actually do like it. I think there's some really great fragrances in here. Valentino as a whole, as an actual fashion label, is one of my favorite brands out there. The legacy of Valentino Garavani is just phenomenal to me. I really loved Pier Paolo's work for Valentino as well. We'll have to see what Alessandro Michele does for them, but in fragrance-wise, they are under L'Oreal, so we can kind of guess that the fragrances are going to be very mass appealing. They're going to be money-making machines, and that's what they are, so a lot of people do love them for that reason. This category is Fragrance of the Year, and this is in the Women's Prestige category. The nominees for this are Lancôme Idole Aura, Marc Jacobs Perfect Eau de Parfum, Yves Saint Laurent's Libre Eau de Parfum, and Estee Lauder's Beautiful Magnolia, as well as Burberry's Goddess Eau de Parfum. Now, I haven't gotten to smell Lancôme's the new Idole Aura, I will be honest here. Marc Jacobs, as a regular rule when it comes to the fragrance category at least, is very teenager to me, and I do like their fragrances. I just think that they're a little youthful, if you will, which is great and all, but you know, typically when you get into this fragrance journey, you typically like things that are a little bit more, that have a little bit more substance, a little bit more protein, if you will. So because of that, I don't see why that one would win. But the winner is Burberry's Goddess Eau de Parfum, which is a newer fragrance by the House of Burberry. I have said it time and time again, Burberry tends to release really great fragrances that do very well, and then all of a sudden they just kind of fall off the bandwagon and no one likes them. And their private line, which is called the Burberry Signature or Bespoke Collection, is really good as well. So if you can try that, I would certainly do that. But I do agree, out of this list, I would definitely go for the Burberry one out of all of them. The next one is a Fragrance of the Year, and this is in the Men's Luxury category. So the nominees for this are going to be Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum, Dior's Sauvage Elixir, Tom Ford's Oud Wood Intense, Giorgio Armani's Code Profumo, and Armani Acqua di Gio Parfum. The winner for this is, drumroll, Armani Acqua di Gio Parfum. Now, the Acqua di Gio collection is really good. I started off with it. This was, I think, my first fragrance that I bought for myself or gotten gifted that was more high-end, if you will, that was actually mine. It was the original Acqua di Gio, not the Parfum. Obviously, I'm not that young, but I do love this fragrance line. I do think it's a little dated, and I think that some of the flankers as of lately don't really translate into the original fragrance. With that being said, I do love the Parfum in this collection. I remember Incenza. I wish they would bring that fragrance back because Incenza was just phenomenal. But nonetheless, it's discontinued, and yeah, I do agree with this one. I do think that they kind of went for the crappy Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum. I love the Parfum, but not the Eau de Parfum. Oud Wood Intense is good. It's just a little bit up there on price point. I'm not sure why it's being compared to the rest of them. I guess it's because it's a designer category, essentially. Dior's Sauvage Elixir, I don't care for. I think it's hyped. It's an overhyped fragrance that, I don't know. The Sauvage line, I think, comes down to one. The Eau de Toilette, I know it's a douchebag fragrance at this point, but it's a fragrance. It's the original one. It's the best one in my opinion. The rest of them kind of just kind of lose it for me a little bit there. And Armani Code Perfumo. I mean, Armani Code is Armani Code. If you've smelt it, then you've smelt it. I mean, nothing super special there, so yeah. Next category is Fragrance of the Year, and this is in the men's prestige category. And nominees for this are Yves Saint Laurent's Myself, the Eau de Parfum, Paco Rabanne's Phantom, Ralph Lauren's Polo Deep Blue Parfum, Versace Eros Eau de Parfum, Dolce & Gabbana's K Eau de Parfum. All of these are great contenders. The winner for this is Yves Saint Laurent's Myself. Now, I think that Dolce & Gabbana's K is a pretty good contender. Versace Eros is a good fragrance if you like that deeper element of a fragrance. Not for everyone, so I can see why it didn't win. Paco Rabanne's Phantom is actually pretty good. I actually do like Paco Rabanne fragrances, except 1 Million. I think the entire 1 Million collection is a little bit... it's a little ick, if you will. And Ralph Lauren's Polo collection. I mean, they have great launches in this one, but I don't know. I haven't smelled the Polo in a long time, so it's not really one that I would go for. The next one is Fragrance of the Year, and this is in the Universal Luxury category. And nominees for this are going to be Tom Ford's Vanilla Sex Eau de Parfum. We also get Byredo's Mixed Emotions. I did get to smell this one. Really great fragrance, by the way. I do like it a lot. Followed by Maison Francis Kurkdjian, L'Homme à la Rose. I haven't gotten to smell this one, but if it's anything like the rest of the L'Homme line, or the men's line, I should say, overpriced for not much substance there. Le Labo's Thé Matcha 26. Another good one. I did get to smell it as well. And then finally, Diptyque's Orion is the last nominee on this list. Pretty good nominee list in this one here. I do like Byredo's Mixed Emotion. That's the one that I would pick for a winner personally, but the winner for this is Tom Ford's Vanilla Sex. Now, I do have to say something. I know that I talk a lot of crap on Tom Ford sometimes, and it's just because they're very expensive for what you get. But this fragrance, even though the name is kind of a gimmick at this point, you know, Vanilla Sax, they're kind of going off of the Effing Fabulous, the Lost Cherry, the Rose Prick type of naming scheme. It doesn't quite work for me, but this fragrance is actually very nice. It's a boozy vanilla, kind of like a cognac, and it's just really beautiful. I will not buy it because it's very expensive, but I do think that the fragrance is worth the win here. And I think out of the entire list here, it's the one that has a lot more substance, a lot more je ne sais quoi, if you will. So I do see why they picked this one as a winner. I think this is the first one I agree with, like full-heartedly agree with. So good for them. And the last one, to not make this video super long, if you do want me to do the rest of them, let me know and I can do a part 2, is Fragrance of the Year in the Universal Prestige category. And the nominees for this are Hermès Un Jardin à Cimetière Eau de Toilette. I don't know, I probably did not pronounce that correctly. I will list it down here below. Then we also get Jo Malone's London Fig and Lotus Flower. I did get to smell a couple of the new Jo Malone's. I'm not sure if this is one of the ones. I think it was. And then Acqua di Parma's Colonia Futura, another great fragrance as well. We also get Maison Martin Margiela Autumn Vibes, and then Gucci's The Alchemist's Garden 1921. This is kind of a up and down when it comes to price category. You get Hermès Un Jardin, which is kind of like in that designer realm. It's not super expensive, at least the Jardin collection. You get Jo Malone, which is at like mid-tier price point. You get Acqua di Parma, which doesn't know where it's at. You know, it's kind of like that upper price point as well, but you can find it at discounters, so it's kind of in that lower price point. Maison Martin Margiela, which is designer, but they label it as a niche. And then we get the Alchemist Garden collection, which is like almost $500 a bottle. So I don't know, very odd mix here of nominees, but the winner for this is Hermès Un Jardin à Cimetière Eau de Toilette. I'm butchering that, I know. And yeah, I can see why it would win here. Out of the entire ranking, I think it's the best one. I would have gone for the Acqua di Parma. I just like Acqua di Parma as a brand myself, but Colonia Futura is not the strongest Colonia in this entire range for the Acqua di Parma collection, so because of that, I can see why it didn't win or stack up. If they would have done Colonia Club, the classic, or the new one, or something like Colonia Pura, Colonia Intensa, then maybe they would have had a fighting chance here. But overall, really great nominees. And yeah, what do you guys think of this list? It's a little fun video. It's not supposed to be serious. It's supposed to be something that you take to heart. Again, the Fragrance Foundation, it has nominees like L'Oreal, Puig. All of these big fragrance conglomerates do pay for these awards, so yeah, I mean, I'm not that they pay for the actual award, but they're sponsors, so just take it with a grain of salt. And yeah, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Until next time, you guys, take care. Happy 2024.